Just me coming out from the, like a gremlin. Oh shit. Ta-da! Can you see that? Here's a present for you. Hello and welcome to Sweet Tooth, the baking series for people who want to learn how to make French macarons, but are a little bit scared to do it, but know that they have it in them. My name is Sarah, and I am the founder of Bowman Bakery. Today, we are making one of my favorite recipes on the blog, a foolproof French macaron. French macarons! A light, delicate, crispy on the outside, but super, super soft on the inside French cookie made with basically just 4 ingredients: eggs, almond flour, powdered sugar, and granulated sugar. Here's how we're gonna get started with a back to basics segment on how to separate egg yolks from egg whites. So there's a few different ways we can do this. I'm gonna show you 2. This is the normal method. You're gonna take your egg, you're gonna crack that baby pretty hard and then immediately turn it upside down so the cracked part is on top. You're gonna very carefully open it up like this. And when you do that, you're gonna catch your yolk in the shell. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna sort of do a little juggling act and you're gonna go back and forth, tossing until your egg white comes out. Now you have your egg white in one bowl, then we're gonna take our egg yolk, boom, into another bowl, done. Now, when you're making macarons, one thing that's super important is to make sure that absolutely nothing touches your egg whites. If you get a little egg yolk in there, that's not gonna be really good. So I actually like to have 3 bowls for doing this. I crack 1 egg, I take my egg white, and I put it into a 3rd bowl. Now we're gonna do it a different method. You're just gonna crack this however the heck you want it, and then take your fingies and just pick it out. And then just, and now you have the yolk and the white. Now that we've separated our egg whites, we are going to do a mise en place. So because with macarons, things can get really finicky, one thing that I like to do is make sure I have everything out before I get started. I want to have my piping bag ready. You really need some sort of, sorry, I'm burping. That's probably like a 1/2 inch tip. This is good to go here, yay! This is one recipe where you have to measure by weight. Our almond flour, we're gonna measure out 100 grams. I got 101, so I'll put that on. And then we're gonna measure out also 100 grams of powdered sugar. And then this we are going to sift. Put that mixture into a fine mesh strainer, and then we are just going to strain it through. Clean, 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 clean. Just push that aside so you guys can't see. Everything's so clean back here. You should not see behind me or under me or right here. It's pretty bad. I cracked open 3 large egg whites. That's usually just about 100 grams. Yeah, to this we're gonna do 100 grams of granulated sugar. And then what we're gonna do is I'm just going to toss in about half of this sugar here because the next step is to whip these babies up. A traditional French meringue, you whip the egg whites and the sugar, you're done once you get these really beautiful white peaks. So instead of creating a French meringue, we are going to create a version of a Swiss meringue. A Swiss meringue involves cooking, just very slightly, the sugar of a meringue. So I'm gonna create a double boiler. A double boiler is basically a pan with water in it. You can see I have about 1 inch of water at the bottom of there. And then the double part comes from because you put a bowl over the first pot. Once it comes to boil, we'll turn it down to a simmer so it's just steaming. And the steam is gonna slowly rise up and so gently cook our egg whites and our sugar while we whisk it. The next frame you will see, this will be boiling. Ta-da! And basically we're gonna whisk for about a minute. All right, 1 minute reached. I'm gonna pull this off the double boiler, and now we're gonna transfer to a stand mixer. Make sure you get every last drop. We are going to put this on to a high speed. Oh, I should plug it in. Ta-da! Okay, I wanna show you guys. See right here, it's forming a peak. This is called a soft peak. We want to get to a hard peak so that when I pull this up, there's no jiggle, it's completely firm. So we're gonna keep going. We got to stiff peak stage. That is a stiff peak right there. That's what you're looking for. The last thing that we're gonna do to this, we're gonna add food coloring. In terms of how much, just start off with a few drops and go from there. Whatever color is here, it's gonna get lighter, so always go for a deeper color than you ultimately want for your final macaron. Okay, ready? Let's do this. All right, that looks excellent to me. So we're just gonna dump this entire thing right in here. Then I'm gonna continue mixing with a rubber spatula. You are going to take your rubber spatula, you're going to round it around the bowl and then fold it into the middle. So what you're doing is a round and then fold into the middle. A round and then fold into the middle. And you're gonna do this for a few minutes until you get this really magical change in texture. But what you're ultimately looking for is to be able to take that spatula up and the macaron batter to drip down slowly and in a singular ribbon without breaking so that it can form a figure 8 of batter. So this is exactly what we're looking for, that continuous figure 8. Now we are going to pipe these. If you just go on Google and type in like macaron piping template, you can get a piece of paper that has all of these little circles. Then I take a piece of parchment paper, put this over those circles, draw them out onto the proper parchment paper size I'm gonna use, and then I put this under the actual piece of parchment paper, and that acts as a perfect template. I want this to lie nice and flat. And what I always do with piping bags is I always take the lip and fold it over. All right, so I'm gonna take our macaron batter and I'm just gonna scrape this in. People treat baking so seriously, like it's fine if things are a little bit messy. You can still make French macarons, man. Fold it over. And then I'm just gonna use the weight of the edge of my counter and pull all of that batter down. And then I'll also just give it a little shake to just let any big air bubbles out. And I'm gonna twist it. And I want it to be nice and taut, so you can see it's like tight there. Now that I've done all of this, I can take the final step of actually cutting the tip of this piping bag, ready to go to do these macarons. So in terms of your piping technique, just make sure that as you're piping out your macarons, keep this bag as tight as possible. So you'll have to, from time to time, come in and twist it. This hand's gonna act as a squeeze, and then take your other hand and you're gonna hold that and use that as a guide. We're just gonna go squeeze and up. There's a little air bubble, that's fine. So squeeze and up, squeeze and up. And these little kisses on the top, they're gonna end up sort of like falling into the macaron, so don't worry about that. I'm just gonna twist my bag, get it tight again, and then continue. So squeeze up, squeeze up. Make sure that you're using the same pressure every time, and then just count. 1, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 3, up, and that's gonna get you that consistent size as well. Once you have piped out your macarons, you're just gonna bang them on the counter a few times. That is exactly what we want. We only need to let these dry for like maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and then they will go right into the oven. Our macarons have been drying out. Do you see when I tap that and I touch that? I mean, I can touch it like kind of intensely, and it is not sticking to my finger. So these are now ready to go in the oven, 300 degrees for 13 minutes. You're gonna put it in on the middle rack, turn halfway through so they get a nice even cook, and then we're gonna be ready to pipe them. All right, macarons are ready to get out of the oven. Let's look at these. Oh my God. Okay, we're fine. Look at those macarons. We're seeing little feetsies, and we have this really nice, beautiful, sort of like shiny, sheen, eggshelly top. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let these cool in the pan until they're at room temperature, so like 15 minutes or something, and then we're gonna pipe them with a buttercream frosting. Oh my God, here it is. ready. And what we're gonna do is literally just pair these macarons up. So, dun, dun, dun. Great, this looks good. So now we have paired up macarons. Oh, couples. We're gonna flip over half of these, and that's gonna be our base for our cookie. So take one of your macarons, I like holding it, and then you're just gonna come in and do a cute little Hershey kiss. I like going through and piping all of the bottoms of my macarons before going and assembling them all. And now it's time to sandwich. So now we're literally just going to top these with their little partner and give it a little squeeze. And then you got your little perfect little macaron babies. Cute, cute. Look at her, she's so perfect. So these can actually last a surprisingly long amount of time and arguably are better the second day because the frosting seeps into the cookies and it just gets a little softer when you bite in. First day you're gonna have a really nice crunch, which I can show you right now. That's so satisfying. Look at that! Foolproof homemade French macarons. I'm linking the full recipe with step-by-step pictures and instructions below. As always, my least favorite part of this video, if you liked it, like, comment, and subscribe. Excuse me, I hated that. Anyways, thanks so much for watching and happy macaroning. Macarooning? Oh God, I can't even say it now. Cheers. Hi everybody. We are making a homemade tiramisu. Tiramisu being that classic Italian dish of mascarpone, eggs, rum. These are called stiff peaks, so they literally like hold their shape. Ooh, smells good already.